time we spend together, there is fire in our eyes. All the things we say to each other are just nothing but truthful lies. I got the things that I know you well until you choose to do me so. Oh, oh, oh. Now I see, higher than the height of the mountain, deeper than the depths of the ocean, colder than the ice.
In honor of our great country for which we are gathered here this morning, may I, with due respect, invite the distinguished guests and all the students and our partners in this hall to please rise as we sing the national anthem in honor of our great country. The national anthem after the count of 2. 1, 2, go.
Shall never be in vain. Sun and light, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Please, you may have your seats.
Would like to invite to the podium the Vice Chancellor of the University, represented by the DVC, to deliver the welcome remarks. Professor, please.
You are at a moment of history. That INEC has chosen our university to start this enlightenment exercise speaks to the very high esteem in which you are all held. You are the future of our country. You are our hope. Whether we like it or not, you will succeed us on this side. And therefore, you must take home a very important message. You are very important to all of us. And you will be seen to play your roles accordingly. All the best. Greatest Iacobucci students.
The Executive Director, European Center for Electoral Support, Mr. Fabio Bajaki, to deliver his goodwill remarks.
The first thing that you all need to do is to get registered, and to facilitate you on this, we have jointly produced with INEC this continuous voter registration guide that we hope is going to be helpful because provides specific information on how to obtain and how to keep safe your permanent voter card, and that will entitle to vote on election day. So we hope you find this useful, and we invite you to get engaged, get your permanent voter card, and express your political choice on election day. Greater Nigeria students, I wish you a fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bajaki. At this point, I would like to introduce my ambassador, the ambassador of the European Union delegation to Nigeria, for his goodwill remarks. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Greetings, students of Nigeria. Good morning. I feel almost young again. And it's not only the t-shirt, it's the dynamics, it's the inspiration from all of you. So, Your Excellency, the INEC Chair, Honorable National Commissioners, Honorable Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University, members of staff here, and I must say again, Your Excellencies, Tu Baba, Helen Paul, and Cobams. And why am I saying Your Excellencies? Because they're not only here today because they are very inspiring artists, they're actually here as ambassadors too. Ambassadors for youth, ambassadors for women, ambassadors for arts, and ambassadors also to a certain extent for people with disabilities. I think that is absolutely outstanding. So thank you so much for being here today. And I promise to be very brief, because judged by the applauses when we came into the room, you have not necessarily come here predominantly to see me, but certain 3 other people. But nevertheless, there are a couple of important messages, I think, to give. And indeed, as my colleague Fabio just said, 60% or more of the Nigerian population are young people. I wonder still if 60% of the influence through the democratic processes here are determined by young people. Is that your sentiment? So we need to ask ourselves, how can we give more space? How can we give more opportunities for young people across the world, and in Nigeria in particular, through democratic processes? Because for democracy to be thriving, to be representative, it needs to represent the demographics of our populations. And of course, the young is a very particular and important case in point. So there's a shortage, to a certain extent, of youth participation in politics in many, many countries. I don't know exactly why. I wonder, is it because of disempowerment? Is it because of alienation? Is it because of fear of participation? Is it because there's a perception that participating would not matter? Or is it because that those that are already in power do not want to share the power by the end of the day? I'm not so sure. But I think we need to ask ourselves these questions, and we need to debate it, and that is why we are here today. Another matter that I'm sure needs to be taken into consideration is the question of what does it take to get into power? And I think we have to look at funding of political campaigns and financing of political parties as a part of the explanation. So it is not necessarily the biggest pockets that bring you to power, but the biggest ideas. So you may ask, why is the European Union actually engaged in this matter on foreign soil, like in Nigeria? And let me say very straightforward, it is not because we have a preferred candidate. It's not because we are married to any particular political party. It's not either because we want to defend a particular ideology. And it is certainly not because we believe that we have done everything right within European borders and now we have to export things just like they are done in Europe to everywhere else in the world. That is not what it's about. We are still promoting democracy within European borders also. What it is about is simply believing in democracy. And we believe in democracy. Thank you very much. It's great to hear you believe in democracy too. We believe in democracy because we believe that strengthening democratic institutions is the best way to secure safe, stable, and developed societies. So this is our engagement. This is our engagement with you, with INEC, and with all the key stakeholders. This is why the European Union has been present here at every general election since 1999 with the election observation missions. This is why we have supported with more than 100 million euros the democratic institutions, the electoral processes. This is why we are now, through the program that is supporting this event today, that we are supporting with 26.5 million euros also the support for youth, for the disabled, for women, for INEC, for the National Assembly, for strengthening the political parties, because that we know that only together it is possible to continue consolidating democracy, continue sending this very powerful message that Nigeria sent at the last elections, that democracy matters, but that nevertheless it's not about that the winner takes all. When you are going to participate in democratic processes, listen even more carefully to the person that you consider your opponent. Reach out to those that have different opinions, because that is what democracy is also about by the end of the day. And that's the spirit of unity when push comes to shove. So your participation in democratic processes come with a big responsibility too, with the responsibility of respect of everybody else, respect of a sober tone, not engaging into hate speech or violence, but having the power of the argument, the power of the provision of political solutions to the real challenges that we face in Nigeria and in Europe alike. That is what today is about. I would not be surprised to see a future president being present here in the room today. And why not a woman president now that I'm at it? I think that deserves a much bigger round of applause. Okay? Nevertheless, the future is for you, but please start already now. The future is here. The youth should already participate much more. Start by registering, participate actively, go to vote when that time comes, and above all, enjoy the event today. Thank you very much.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Iacobucci, to deliver his goodwill message.
So please honor this first campus outreach on the continuous voter registration. Honor the INEC ambassadors, honor Tubaba, honor Helene, honor Cobams by ensuring that you go and register. Are you assuring me that you are going to register? That's one. Please, when you register, collect your PVCs. Are you assuring me that you will collect your PVCs? When you collect your PVCs, please, on February 16th next year and March 2nd, make sure that you go and vote. Are you assuring me that you'll all vote? Okay, let me give you an undertaking. Let me give you an undertaking. Let me make a promise that in 2019, your votes will count. In 2019, only the votes cast by Nigerians will determine who wins the elections. God bless you and thank you very much.
Every time we spend together, there is fire in our eyes. All the things we say to each other are just nothing but truthful lies. I got the things that I know you well until you choose.